guys, happy Thor Day. Good to be back. So, what am I doing now? I'm going to be playing jungle later on. But for now, we're going to be playing One for All with my one-trick buddies. They're in an ARAM right now, so we're going to play that. So if you're one-trick and you want to play with us, you can. We got 2 slots open, so if you want to play, join. Hey, look at this kick-ass desktop wallpaper I got here. I didn't take the time to look into the artist yet, but I'm gonna do that later. Pretty kick-ass photo or illustration here. I'm still trying to read what's in the background though. I see this big whatever this is. It looks like I don't know. It looks like a figure in the background. I could be wrong about that. We're surrounded by mountains, maybe. Anyway, look how big he is. It's huge. This is Frostfire right here. Increased size, strength, and increased size there. Anyway, so I'm gonna be doing jungling, some jungle. And the reason why I'm doing jungle now is because I'm kind of getting frustrated with the top lane. So top lane is now going to be my secondary role. And the reason why is because I'm a one-trick. And top lane is pretty much a counter lane. It's pretty much how it is in League. And pretty much any lane, really. Mid, top, bot. You're going to get countered if you first pick. And it's kind of a hard thing for a one-trick. The only thing that separates a one-trick is your skill. So, yes, I could be facing, and a lot of times I am, I'm facing someone who doesn't really have a lot of skill on the champion, but they play it because they know it counters Volibear. So it's more of an annoying thing to deal with. For example, like Gangplank. A lot of people just tend to pick it because it's easy and they could just attack from a distance and, quit the hell out of you, right? So it's like that. So it's not necessarily a good Gangplank player. It's more of they just do it because it's easy, right? Why not? So as a Volibear one trick, with the amount of skill that I have on that champion, it's still annoying to deal with these counter champions. And my most hated is Jax. Jax is pretty hard to beat. Mainly because he rushes Sheen, and anytime anybody rushes Sheen, it's hard to deal with. Even the Volibear was Sheen, but that's hard to deal with. And Blade of the Ruined King Rush, get a lot of champions that build that, and it's a big counter for Volibear. So that's why. And a lot of times I feel like I can't do anything in the top lane. I'm stuck. And like, what am I gonna do? So that's why I'm making a change to jungle, so I don't have to deal with any of that crap. I'm free. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can start farming champions and, gank lanes. I can dive towers. Pretty much every tower in the game I can dive. It don't have to be top lane. I can go bot lane. I can take mid down. I can take whatever tower I want. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys the Hullbreaker playstyle in the jungle. Now, one thing that I've learned about Volibear in the top lane with the split push and the Hullbreaker, which is currently now the meta, apparently. So everybody in the top lane is running the Hullbreaker, which is kind of funny. But anyway, so the difference between champions that run the Hullbreaker, especially as a first item. Now, the number one person that does extremely well with it is Yorick. Okay? Because Yorick, he uses the wave more than any other champion. Because he got his, whatever you call those damn things, I can't. Forgot the name of them. But anyway, he's got those, I should probably look it up, proper name, but it doesn't matter. So he got those things, so he's able to have a large wave on top of a Hullbreaker Canyon minion, and then he's got his ult, right? And he's dealing you know, damage to the tower with the canyon himself and that ult of his, right? He's got a massive wave on top of that, those things that he throws at you. So he utilizes it the most. Um, Other champions like Sion use it, but there's no other champion in the game that utilizes it better than Yorick. Um, I've seen Malzahar. He can kind of do the same thing with his little whatever you call those things, kind of similar to how Yorick can, you know, like have a monster wave. He can do that too. But mostly Yorick is #1 with the Hullbreaker, utilizing it early. Now, I want to talk about the Volibear. Using it early on him is alright, yeah. I mean, it makes him tankier. But, like, it's not really the best time to utilize it on the Volibear, from what I learned. The best time to utilize the Hullbreaker is when you take an inhibitor. Once you take that, or you're close to taking it, you're ready for the Hullbreaker. And you really want to utilize it for the super minions, because you get more than one. You get like 2, sometimes 3, and you apply the buff on that, who's going to stop you from taking Nexus towers? And nobody takes it like the Volibear does. Not even Yorick. Yorick still has to, you know, deal damage to them, you know, and auto them. The Volibear can run up right in the dead center and just crush both of the towers. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can run up and just smash it halfway, and then if you have Demolish, you can kill one while the canyon, the super minions are focused on the other tower, and then you can take them down at the same time that way. Or you can go up, hit the other tower while the minions are on the other one until they're low enough to where your ult can actually kill the towers at the same time. So that's one way. But you know me, I like to fly in, jump in the air, and just crush instead of, like, you know, going up and patiently hitting it low and then crush. You can do it either way. So that's pretty much how you use the Hullbreaker on Volibear. So I was thinking about it. Since Volibear is more of a late game Hullbreaker user, why not just jungle? Because the majority of the game, you're without the Hullbreaker. So what could you be doing with that time? You could be taking control of the map. You could be pressuring the lanes. You could be taking, you know, the objectives, the dragon, and most importantly, the Rift Herald. You need that one. That's the most important of the game, especially early game, before 20 minutes of Baron. That's what you want to focus on. Getting those 2 rifts is going to guarantee you a win. Not guaranteed, but it's going to be a high percentage that you're going to win that game. You get both of those, you dive with your team, you open up the gates, get that inhibitor, get that Hullbreaker, start the Baron process, there you go, you got the double buffs, and you can just run up and end the game. So that's pretty much how you want to do it. So I was thinking a lot of that, by the way. And one of the reasons why I'm making the change to jungle is because the frustration of not being able to get the rifts, and you need the jungler for that. Because every time you try to go do it yourself, top lane knows about it, so they're going to come stop you, and then they end up getting it. So that sucks. And also, a lot of times in my games, the junglers ignore the rift. So I'm kind of stuck there, and the enemy jungler gets it, and they use it on my tower, and then I'm stuck until late game anyway. Kind of sucks, right? So it's like, why not just play the Volibear the way he's meant to be played? Take that smite, he's the god of fucking lightning and thunder. I mean, why don't I just take the rift myself? Take control of the jungle, dive every single tower in the game, and then when I'm ready, I'm gonna get the Hullbreaker and I'm gonna bust your Nexus. So that's how we're gonna play it. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's been a long time since I played like a lot of games of jungle. I've been playing a few here and there, but the last time I was a jungle main was on the old Volibear, the old one. So I'm excited because from here on out, it's gonna be jungle Volibear, the way you're supposed to play him. So as you guys are watching, I know a lot of you guys are thinking Predator is the way to go. Conqueror, you're trolling. Aftershock doesn't work as good as it did on the old Volibear, so why would you ever take that? And then here's another thing I want to talk about is graps. I have a weird thing about graps. Graps on the old bear, you wouldn't do that in the jungle. It just didn't make any sense, right? But this new bear is actually interesting because, and another thing I want to talk about is keystones. Graps actually is ready to go because you can auto attack the minions or monsters. Okay, so whenever you're like getting invaded, or if you're in the river working on the dragon in the rift, your graps is ready to go. Okay, and why is that good? It's because of Volibear's W. Okay, Volibear's W is every 4 seconds or something, right? Somewhere in there, 4 or 5 seconds. And graps is about the same. Okay, so if you mark the target, you're getting a double proc of damage and heal. So if they challenge you at the dragon, you mark them, they better step back because you can run them down and keep biting them over and over and over, get that double heal and proc, and they're not going to be able to beat you unless they have a lot of attack speed or something like that. So that's the only trouble, or Bladed Ruin King or whatever. But graps can actually work, and they're saying that you're not going to proc it as much as you do in the top lane. Let me tell you right now, in a Hullbreaker meta, you pretty much all you're doing is spending time in the side lanes. So eventually, when laning phase is over, you're not proccing it much anymore, unless you join team fights. That's pretty much the whole deal of graps, is you would be top lane, and then you would join the team fight so that way you can continue to proc it. Graps is meant to be in battle, okay? So that's one thing that I noticed. So with the jungle, so what? Yeah, you don't proc it as much early, but eventually you're going to have to be the one to be in team fights because you're the jungler. So eventually you're actually going to be able to utilize the graps more than you will in the top lane these days. So that's one of the reasons why one of the things that I've noticed. So the Volibear W with graps is actually pretty viable. I think it could work in the jungle. I've seen a Mu or whatever, the mummy. He was running graps, and it makes sense because now he has that double Q, so he has a way to stay on top of you and get that graps proc. He's got his ult, you know, so it makes sense. So I've seen that, and it actually worked. I've checked the numbers, and it's pretty big. So that's a viable option, I think. I don't have it here, and I'm going to explain why. With graps, I feel like it's going to work the best like in the river, because there's no minions around. The thing that sucks about graps when you gank is you're still taking a lot of damage from the minions. So like, yeah, you could just get a little heal every 4 seconds, but you know what? A lot can happen in those, 4 or 5 seconds, right? So it tends to be strong around mid to late game. It's one of the reasons why I'm going with Aftershock instead, because you're taking less damage. You gain armor and magic resist. When you gank, you take less damage from the minions during that time, and you do your job in and out, and that's it. So I got here my Stormbreaker. This is going to be my jungle Shinebreaker. And this one's going to be utilizing the Frostfire. Alright, so Aftershock, Frostfire resist, Hullbreaker, all of that good stuff. And you're going to be farming quite a bit with the monsters, and then when you gank, you want to push. Take plates, take towers, use the Rift. Early game, that's what you really want to really put the pressure on the map with the Demolish. And when you dive towers, like the mid lane, you can jump over the wall, and you can, use the Demolish. So that's that, and then we got the Rift Breaker here. We're going to be using the Rift Maker in the jungle. I've played a couple games with the Rift Makers, Let me tell you, it's actually pretty nutty. Not gonna lie. The Omen Vamp in the jungle is a good thing. And like the jungle item gives you Omen Vamp as well, right? The in the early game part. I don't know if it's throughout the game. It might be, but Omen Vamp is extremely good. So having like the Aftershock resist with all that Omen Vamp, you're just gonna take less damage overall when you gank. And when you start like the engage, when you engage in team fights, this can be helpful. And one of the things about Riftmaker is it deals 2 damage. So you're going to get that extra from Sheep Shot, and then of course every takedown you're going to get more ability power, which is really good for your abilities, especially your ult. So that's what we're going to be running with that for the Riftmaker playstyle. And then here we got pretty much the God of War and Storms, what I call it. Precision represent, you know, the war, and this sorcery representing the storm. But pretty much standard what you would run on the Volibear in the jungle, because it works really well with Smite. Being able to land that chilling Smite and like gain bonus movement speed. And the amount of times that you can Smite, you know, you're going to see big numbers on that. So that's good. And Gathering Storm over the course of the game, you're just going to get more AP or 80 or whatever you're building. And attack speed is just really good, so that you can clear really fast. And when you dive in on a target, you can quickly, you know, kill them. And overall, when you dive in all in, Coop is going to be really good. You can quickly kill that target and heal. And this works really good with Riftmaker, by the way, this here. And it works well with Frostfire. And we got the Storm Predator. This is kind of like the classic. A lot of people like to run this. I know Mike Roller likes to run this. He's a diamond Volibear. He likes to run this. I think he runs Precision secondary, but whatever. I like to be fast. I like to be fast, and I like to scale ability power. I generally run Nashers, because the more attack speed you have, the faster you're going to clear, and with your E, you're going to be able to quickly delete the camps and move on. So that's that. We'll definitely play that. And this here is an interesting one. I'm going to talk about this a little later. Not that I recommend that you play this over any of these. I still think these are the strongest. But this, I want to talk about Electrocute a little later. I'm going to show you guys in practice tool, and then I might play a game or two with Electrocute just to get a feel for it. But there's some nutty stuff that I talked about in my Discord that I'm going to show you guys that I did not know about that you could do with the Volibear. So it's going to be interesting. Alright, so I'm going to be playing One for All now. So let's do that. We're going to play a couple games of this stuff, and then we're going to jump into solo queue and all that good stuff.